Hello everyone, my name is Zhangyun Yan and today I'm going to introduce my study about culture shock as a life stressor leading to higher depression prevalence among international students in University of Ontario Institute of Technology. So this presentation will have the introduce to the research question, the background of research, the objective, the methodology we are going to use, the statistical and ethical issues, and finally, the limitations of this research. So first, the research question. The research question about this study will be, does culture shock act as a life stressor leading to high prevalence of depression among first-year international students in UOIT? So the background of this research. The major depressive disorder, MDD, which also commonly known as depression, has been acting as a silent killer in the post-secondary education institutions for a long time, as the depressive symptoms among university students are of increasing concern on the campuses. According to DSM-5, the patient with depression will experience a loss of interest or pleasure in activities of daily living, while the social and academic functions will be impaired. The outcome might be shown as a bad in academic performance, loss of interest in study, couldn't focus, etc. Depression is a highly prevalent mental disorder in university students, with rates of depression in this population ranging from 8 to 20%. The university students are considered as a high-risk population of depression. The international students, they are facing a greater risk of having depression than domestic students. While all the students in university are experiencing academic and personal pressures, which are solved from the student rules of higher education, the international students are facing a particular academic and social challenges caused by various reasons, such as uprooting, academic stress, financial reasons, etc. So there are similar research articles as published in other countries. In this area. However, many of these researches did not focus on the factor culture shock specifically. For example, the De La Salle University located in Manila, Philippines, has research on the factors associated with higher levels of depression symptoms among international university students in Philippines. Their research was focusing on finding general factors that might influence the mental health status of international students, such as lethargy, cognitive, emotional, and academic motivation. However, in the measurement scale they used, only a few of questions could relate to external factors such as culture shock. They paid much more attention to depressive symptoms and the social family interaction of participants. So there is another article related to the international students' mental health well-being. The name of this article is The Grounded Theory of International Students' Well-being. So this article states that international students are challenged and distressed by cultural difference, social isolation, academic differences, and difficulties with English language proficiency. Through grounded theory method, analysis revealed how international students survived the human cost of transition shocks during the sojourn and thrived while negotiating changes in physical environment and cultural, academic, and social differences. This study really focused on culture shock and how it impacts the international students' mental health. Research shows that international students in United States tend to be the top students in their countries of origin. They may develop a sense of inferiority when subjecting to adjustment problems, such as failing their expectations in academic performance caused by language barriers or differences in education system or house culture. It is a very fruitful study, but unfortunately, it still didn't focus on the culture shock as an external factor and how it impacts the international students' mental health and lead to depression. So, my research is meant to fill the gap of the existing research articles. Based on previous researches, continue their work on depression research. At the same time, focus on the culture shock as an external factor impacting the international students' mental health status. Objectives. This research is expected to discover how and why the culture shock as an external factor could severely impact the international students' mental health status, also to provide a different perspective for the depression intervention programs in Canadian universities. There are also research articles shows that when the university faculty members try to assist international students with their depression, they reported feeling of uncertainty and frustration as they struggled in resolving the students' challenges. This research will help the faculty members, such as mental health counselors in UIT and staff members in UIT, such as academic advisors, help them to understand better and enhance the awareness of the academic, social, and psychological challenges faced by the international students. The study design of this research will be a longitudinal study, as this study will be held for one academic year of time. The participants will be asked to complete 2 question sets, including one survey designed by research team with questions measuring the culture shock and its level of impact to the participants, and one online depression rating scale, which is the Zhangyun self-rating depression scale. And the participants will be doing the same question sets for 3 time points in one academic year. The first time will be in their first month of study, the second time will be in the end of first semester, and the third time will be the end of their second semester. So, plans of recruiting subjects. This study is going to take place in University of Ontario Institute of Technology, focusing on the international students who just arrived Canada and starting their first year of studying in UIT. The research team will collaborate with UIT International Students Office to send the recruitment message during the international student orientation and via their email. The participants are voluntary to sign up, and they will be promised to reward with a $20 gift card. The inclusion criteria of this study will be that the participants must be international students who just arrived Canada for no more than 4 months and just starting their first year of study in UIT. The exclusion criteria of this study will be, for a safety reason, the participants who are already diagnosed with depression may not participate in this study. The predictor of this research will be the presence of depression in international students, which is our participants. So according to the Zhangyun self-rating depression scale, which we are going to use in the study, a score higher than 44 will be considered as depressed. Therefore, the predictor of this study will be a high score, which is higher than 44 on this depression assessment scale. The main exposure variable of this research will be 7 factors that are associated with culture shock, which might influence the mental health status of the participants. These 7 factors include living conditions, such as living alone or living with roommates, living with strangers, or living with relatives. Second is transportation, like the distance between the residence to school, the time spent on transportation, and the frequency of attending courses. The third one will be language barriers. It will be tested as TOEFL or IELTS score. The fourth factor is diet, which could be the frequency of access to home country style cuisine. The fifth factor is the degree of homesickness. So will be the frequency of conversation in native language, or the frequency of contacting family friend back home. And the sixth one is the social interaction. It will be the number of social contacts prior and after arrival. The last one is the work or academic status, such as current GPA or marks, frequency of failing courses, etc. The score will be given to measure the level of impact that participants receive from culture shock. So the dependent variable of this research will be the score that participants get on the Zhang self-rating depression scale. As the main outcome will be the association between the culture shock factors and the level of depression shown in the international students. The type of variables that will be used in this analysis will be nominal. The stronger the impact from social work, the higher level of depression among international students will occur. So, about the ethical issue related to this study. The research will not be started until the IRB, which is Institutional Review Board Services, REB, have reviewed the whole research plan and the both question sets. In the case to respect the participants' autonomy, the informed consent from the participant will be confirmed for multiple times. The most concerned ethical issue in this research will be the confidentiality, as the privacy of the participants will be asked, where the anonymity of participants will be relevantly important. To prevent the information disclosure, the key that identifies the subject will be destroyed. The research data will be coded and processed by a third party anonymously, and only limited personnel will have access to the identifiers. The storage of data will be secured with locked cabinets and password-protected computers. Also, the autonomy of participants to withdraw or skip questions will be respected. The statistical issues about this research will be considered. This study hypothesizes that the factor related to culture shock will impact the mental health status of participants and lead to depression. If there is a positive relationship between the scores that the participants get from the culture shock survey and the depression assessment survey, it will be fair to reject the hypothesis. Talk about statistical approach. A multi-regression, multivariate analysis will be used to examine the association between the results of culture shock survey and the score that the participants receive from depression rating scale. One of the biggest limitations faced by this research will be the loss of follow-ups on the participants. Since it's a one-year study with 3 time points of survey, many students might drop out because of loss of interest, don't feel worth it, or busy. So, this research will recruit more participants than expectation, such as if we need 50 results, we will hire 150 participants, which is 3 times than expected number. In the case to prevent the result that the loss of follow-up might impact the research result. The confounding variable is also a big problem that might impact the result of this study. Mental health issue is complicated. There could be factors other than culture shock impacting the participants' mental health status. Also, since this study is going to be based on individuals' emotional and mental health status, the result could be very subjective. For example, a person with very sensitive or emotional character might easily feel depressed by homesick, even if he or she have a better result on culture shock survey, which means she is supposed to be less impacted by culture shock. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.